guys, this is Anna with Motivate MD, and today I'm going to be walking you through our handy dandy pre-med app. So we recommend that you use the app as soon as you start undergrad until you graduate. Even though the app is geared towards preparing your application, you can still use it all throughout the interview process. Before you even get to the main portion of the app, we have to do our onboarding process. So this is going to allow the app to be customized according to your stats and your goals. So first it's going to ask us if we've graduated college, so I'm just going to put yes. Then it wants our school name, our major, our degree, and our GPA, as well as our science GPA and reciting state. So then it's going to ask you if you plan to or if you want to take a year off between undergrad and medical school. And this is really great because if you do plan on taking that year off, it allows you to incorporate that into the app. So you can use the app to plan what you're going to do on your year off. So I'm going to put yes. And then it asks for details about what's happening during the year off. And obviously, if you're not taking a year off, that's totally fine. You just put no. So then it asks for your MCAT score. You're going to go through and put each of your individual section scores as well as your test date. And you can put multiple test dates and multiple MCAT scores. So then it's going to ask you for your top pick schools. I'll just put in 3 schools in the state where I live, Tennessee, but customize your top pick schools to your list, and it's going to tell you how you stack up based on your stats. It predicts that you're not very competitive for a certain school. If you really want to, still apply there anyway. You never know unless you try. It's just trying to give you an overall idea of how realistic is it that I will get into school X. So then we're going to set some goals, and this is one of the most important parts of the onboarding process. So if I was starting out as a freshman and I'm going to be like, okay, I want my goal GPA to be a 3.8, I want my goal MCAT to be a 520, and I want to get 200 hours of shadowing and volunteering, and I want to have 12 work and activities. And also underneath each category, we have a suggested for the goals, like what you need to do to be competitive for medical school. So finally, we set a deadline for when we want to submit our medical school application, and then the app brings in all that onboarding information into the central page of the app. So as soon as you even log in, you see your goal GPA and what you currently have, your goal MCAT and what you currently have if you've taken it. If you haven't taken it, obviously this is going to be blank, but the really great thing about this app is you can enter in multiple MCAT scores and also plan for multiple test dates if you have to take it more than once, which is okay. Finally, you see shadowing, volunteering, and work and activities. So I made my goals for shadowing and volunteering to be 200 hours. As I shadow throughout, freshman through junior year, every time I do that, every time I shadow, every time I volunteer, I log it into the app. By the time I go to start my AMCAS or my AACOMAS application, I'm going to have all that information at the touch of my fingertips right in this app. And this is really useful because a lot of students, they go all the way through freshman and junior year. They kind of log here and there, but they don't really know where everything is. You're probably going to do at least one move a year. Everything gets lost, put into boxes, super chaotic, and then they freak out when they get to the AMCAS and the AACOMAS because they don't remember how many hours of shadowing and volunteering they've really done. So instead of focusing on their application, now they're taking all this time and energy to try and estimate these hours. They're worrying, they're underestimating or they're overestimating. So ultimately, this app helps you supersede all of that. Don't let that person be you. Use the app, log every time you shadow, every time you volunteer, and when you get to starting your AACOMAS or AMCAS application, it's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy because you can just look in here. All you need is a Wi-Fi connection. Or if you download the app to your iPhone or Android, you don't even need an internet connection. All you need is a data plan. So that's why this goals page is so useful. And then finally, you have work and activities. And again, like a lot of students will get to that time to apply to medical school and they don't remember what they did freshman year. So the app allows you to log every single work and activity you've done since freshman year, and it's all a central page to localize it all, log it all, and keep track of it all so that when you get to applying to medical school, you can just focus on your personal statement and making everything customize exactly how you want it instead of having to worry about, oh man, I don't remember anything I did freshman through sophomore year. What am I going to do? Now that we've been through the onboarding process and discussed the Goals tab, we'll move to the Application tab. The Application tab breaks down your AA-COMIS or AMCAS application into 14 different steps and centralizes it all onto one page. So at the top of the page, you see a toolbar that tells us how much progress have I made on my application. Moving down, we see we have different sections for our required courses and our letters of recommendation. These sections allow us to enter every required course and every letter of rec, and the letters of recommendation section allows you to enter an author for each letter of recommendation in your packet. Moving down to the personal statement section, we've divided the personal statement into 7 different steps: brainstorming, outline, first draft, review of first draft, second draft, review of second draft, and finally that polished third draft everyone craves. So as we complete each step, we can check it off and see our progress in the main personal statement toolbar. So let's say I am a first semester junior. I've brainstormed ideas for my personal statement. I've made a rough outline, and it's Christmas break, and I'm about to begin that first draft. I can go ahead and check off brainstorming and outlining, and I can see my progress in that main personal statement toolbar. Moving down, we see a similar setup for work and activities essays. They're divided into 7 different steps, and you can track your progress in the main work and activities essays toolbar at the top. At the bottom of the application tab, we see a top school section. It's brought those top schools you entered in the onboarding process into this little section. You can also continue to add top schools as you research different medical schools throughout undergrad. And then finally, you can write notes to yourself in the application notes section at the very bottom of the page. Up at the top, next to the Progress tab, which is where you can find your goals and application pages, there's a little calendar picture. You click on that, and that leads you to the main calendar in your pre-med app. So you can see not only a full month calendar, but you can also see it weekly and daily. And the weekly and daily calendars will break it down from 6 a.m. all the way till 10 o'clock at night. And you can also schedule things later according to your needs. But we'll go back to the month setup. And on your right-hand side, you see a little toolbar that shows you how many hours of shadowing you completed, how many hours of volunteering you completed, and how many work and activities you've completed. So let's add an event. When you add an event, you click the little plus down at the bottom of the screen. It gives you a title, and you can categorize it according to shadowing or volunteering. Choose a start date, a start time, and a duration or hours. You can make it a repeated event, either weekly, annually, or every weekday, Monday through Friday. And you can also add a little description. Next to the calendar, you'll see a little timer with a check mark that says focus. This is unique to the Motivate MD Pre-Med app. It is a timer, and you can set it to focus for however many minutes you want. You can take short or long breaks, and you can set it to ever how many rounds. So this is designed to help you learn to start studying like a medical student. It's actually been shown that after every hour of studying, you want to take at least a 5 to 10 minute break. So you're supposed to study in multiple rounds for X amount of minutes with little breaks in between. And if you've taken a Kaplan test prep course, you know that they recommend study for an hour, take a 5 to 10 minute break, study for 3 hours, take a 1 hour break. So this timer can help you really start implementing that. I know when I studied for my MCAT, I didn't have this timer. I tried to do it just by, looking at the clock on my phone, but I would always lose track of how long I had been going, what time I really started at. So this timer will help you keep to those intervals. So that's all we have for you today, guys. You've now received the sneak peek inside the official Motivate MD Pre-Med app. We hope you'll choose us to stay organized, be memorable, and get accepted.